go into victim consciousness around that is up to you. That's your choice. That's the thing we don't get. And victim consciousness then is a state of mind. It's a state of mind that looks out and says that I'm unhappy because of you, because you won't let me, because you kept me from, because they're getting in my way, because I can just never get ahead. It's a state of seeing the world and seeing ourselves at the mercy of the world outside of us. And that's the definition of victim consciousness. And it rules in our world, I notice, that we as humans that seems to be sort of what we default to, this idea that we are at the mercy of the world around us. And what I have found is that that's not true, that there is another way of seeing the world. And that is what we call observer consciousness, or for kids it's being a conscious kid. And what we find is, so what we do in this work is we define the three roles of victimhood, because victimhood has a dynamic, and there are three what I call faces or roles in victimhood. And they're represented here. And this is the kids. Maybe Danielle, you will help me hold this. My grandson drew. Would you? Yeah. If you want to come hold this on this side, sorry, that would be so helpful. You hold. Wait, I'll call on you when I need you. Right now, this is good. So we have three. My grandson drew these little drawings.
Bully, the hero,
and the helpless baby, the victim. The bully persecutor, the hero helper rescuer, and the helpless baby victim. And what you need to know about this triangle is that no matter where, when you get on this triangle, no matter where you are, you will move. Yeah, we can put it back down on the ground now that people have said thank you. So what happens is we are on this triangle inside with ourselves as well as with others. So as soon as I believe that you're keeping me from a happy life, where am I on this triangle? Am I in the rescuer or the persecutor or the victim? That's right. I'm seeing myself at the mercy of you. You are my person. You are blocking me. You are keeping me from. And I see you as a problem. I see you as an obstacle. I see you as someone who's keeping me from peace and from happiness. So I've now made you, I've given you the power of whether or not I get to have a happy life. And that's me in victim. And so what I do is I get in victim, and as soon as we perceive ourselves as victim to anything out there, we do one of three things. As soon as I see myself as a victim, I either will spiral deeper into collapse, deeper into victim. Notice how the body language. I just can't help it. Life is against me. I just can't have what I want in life. It's hard. And we actually have physical patterns that we carry in our body of these roles. So we walk through life in our victim postures. So as soon as so that's collapse, and that's going deeper into victim. As soon as I see you or something else out there as keeping me from a happy life, being able to have what I want, then I see myself as your victim. I've gotten on the triangle. Now I'm here. And the other option is that I see you as doing it to me. And so what I decide to do is I'm going to take this on, and I'm going to figure out what I need to do to control that. I tell you what, I'm going to convince you that what you need to do is I'll fix you. That's what I'll do. I'll fix you so that you understand what a problem you're being for me, and then you'll change, and I'll be happy. That's called a rescuer. There's a whole, rescuers don't see themselves as victims. They have a hard time when you tell a rescuer, and because we each have starting gate positions. We move around the triangle when we're on it, but we also have roles that we play consistently, that we enter from, and that we see the world through the lens of. And rescuers see themselves through the lens of a belief system that says, my needs are not important, but yours are. And I can't really have what I want unless I get you straightened out. If I can just make you my project and get you straightened out, then I can be happy. And so it's not really about what I'm doing for you at all. It's about what I'm going to do for you so that you will give me what it is I need. This is the roundabout way. So I'm feeling like you're in my way, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump up here and figure out how to control, manage, fix it, fix the problem. Or the other option is, so either I'll go deeper into victim, collapse, or I jump into the rescuer. Or the other possibility is that I decide that you're after me, well, I'll take care of you. You think you're going to get in my way? No. I'll get you first. I'll get you before you hurt me. Because the world is dangerous after all. And you're trying to get in my way. You're causing me to feel bad. You're making me hurt. This is what I call victim vocabulary. When I use words like make me feel bad. When I accuse you of being in charge of my happiness, and then that gives me justification to attack. I've moved into the bully persecutor. So you see, these are our three options. As soon as I begin to see the world as being in charge of how I feel, then I'm going to do one of those three things. I'm either going to spiral into victim, go into collapse, oh, life is hard. I'm going to go into the rescuer, I know what needs to be done here, just ask me. I've got it all figured out, I know what, and I'll tell you what you need to do for your own good, of course. I'm going to protect you from yourself because I don't trust you to be able to do what you need to do to take care of you, so I'm going to rescue her. Or, I'll show you, I'll get you first. Because I've got to take care of you in order to take care of me. And once we're each in our position, and what we do is, of course, if I believe that I need to, that the only way I can be important is to rescue you, so that you're now dependent on me. This is the rescuer's game. Each one of these roles has a sort of, they're all after something. See, the rescuer is looking for a way to give us, to feel important, to feel valid, to feel a sense of belonging. And one thing they know, because they don't really believe that they deserve much, their needs are not that important. Their beliefs, ideas, but if I can take care of you good enough, if I can prop you up well enough, then you will take care of me. Then you will depend on me. Then I know that you will be there for me. That's how I build a bond with you. But and the hope is, every rescuer secretly hopes that someday, if I take good enough care of you, if I rescue you well enough, that someday you're going to take care of me. There's going to be this reciprocation. But the problem is that who does the rescuer sign on with? When they go looking for someone to take care of so that they can be important, who do they look to? The victim. They look for somebody who needs them. Need is the big thing for the rescuer. So somebody can need them. Did you have something to say, Reese? You know those. And can you tell the group which one of these you're working with, right? Which one do you see yourself in most often? Can you come jump up here and show us which one of these that you do most often? Where would you say you see yourself today? Have you seen yourself on this triangle today? Think about it a minute. And if so, where have you seen yourself? Okay. Yep. Where? Okay. What is that place? And how were you a bully today? You pushed Prescott. That is being a bully, isn't it? Then what happened? Okay, so now Prescott, is he here? Oh, okay. So, let's see. Is someone willing to pretend to be Prescott? Sorry, you want to come to Prescott? Would you take your shoes off, buddy, so that we don't get them on the mat? And so let's put Prescott here. So you pushed him off the deck, and then what happened next? What did Prescott do? Oh, yeah. Come be Prescott first. Did you see it, Sawyer? Do you know what happened?
My shoe.
Oh, you've got a lame shoe?
No. When I got that on, he pushed me back.
Okay, so, alright, so now wait a minute, go ahead, you go on Bully where you were, and you be Prescott. Here, you start there. Okay, look. So what did you just do? Oh yeah, that's exactly what happened, isn't it? Did y'all catch that? So it starts out with Reese pushing Preston, is that his name? Prescott. And then, so she was in Bully. So when she pushed Prescott, he was in Victim. And then what did he do? He moved up to Bully, and he pushed her. Now she's in Victim. Huh, what happened then? You can sit down now, sorry. Thank you. That's a good place to sit. I like that. What? He got teary-eyed. Yeah. And then what happened then when he got teary-eyed? So where was he? Was he in Victim, the helpless baby, when he got teary-eyed maybe a little bit? And what did you do when he got teary-eyed?
Well,
did you want him to feel better? You felt like maybe you didn't want him to be hurt? Did you have that?
Well,
can you remember what? So his brother, his big brother came in. Avery, who's Avery? That's so Avery came to the. So then he came in and he sort of rescued. So he saw his brother with tears in his eyes. He saw him being in the Victim, and so now we have another kid who's come in and decided he needed to rescue this little kid, Prescott, right? And then how did you feel? Where did you go then? What did Prescott's? What did Avery say to you? Or what did he do when he came in as a rescuer? What did he say? He said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry she pushed you." Did he say anything to you? Don't push my little brother. So when he said to you, "Don't push my little brother anymore," where did he move? Saw your nose. If he was over here rescuing, okay, that's when he was rescuing. But now and you're over here. You've been sort of the bully, and his little brother's there, and he says to you, "Don't push him anymore." Where has he just moved, and where have you just moved? So you're here, but when he says, "Don't push him anymore," what is he being in that moment? He's being. That's right. He's being the bully.
Prescott moved the bully because Prescott came in and don't push me down.
So y'all see how this works? And you know, this goes on and on. It can go on and on for minutes, days, hours, weeks, years, lifetimes. So, you want to sit down now? Thank you so much for volunteering. Let's give her a hand. So, Reese has been learning about this. How old were you when you started learning about this, Reese?
I think
you were 4 maybe, or maybe not quite 4.
I think I was 3.
3, yes.
Was.
And how old were you, Sawyer?
She was 3 years minus 9.
And so now
6.
Reese, yeah, so you were 6, and she was, no,
I'm 7.
you were 4.
7 years.
All right, and so you're 5 now, so yeah, I think you started right at 3, right before you turned 4. So the point I'm making is that kids as young as 4 understand this model. And that's the wonderful thing about it, because it's very simple. And you know what? The reason why it's so understandable? Because it's just true. It's just the way human dynamics work. This is the way our psyche works. Because this whole system is built on blame. Because if I'm hurting, it's got to be somebody's fault. And so I'm busy looking for whose fault it is going to be. And I don't want it to be my fault. I mean, because that makes me a bad person, right? Because we believe that if we're on this triangle anywhere, we are bad. I certainly don't want to be a bully. I mean, especially in this climate, day and age. Bullies are like, "Oh no, you." But you understand, victims bully. Rescuers bully. Rescuers are victims. As a matter of fact, when rescuers jump in and become a rescuer, they'll end up in victim. So we have a system, a model that's built on blame. And there is another way. There is an option here, and it's based on certain guiding principles. And so let's just play this, let's take this out again. Would you be willing to come back up here and use the same example since it's working so well? You're going to let Reese, since it was her example, let's see, where were we last? You were in, yeah, he was there, and that made you, where did you go? When he bullied you by saying, don't do that to my brother anymore, where did you move in that moment on the time?
I just walked away.
Is that when you left? Give me 5, girl. All right. But when he said that to you, where might you have moved on the time? How about did you feel bad? Like, oh, he's mad at me, or yeah. So let's just say you're there. So I'm just going to ask you a question. I want you to pick a numbers between 1 and 10. Any number, just 1 and 10. Pick a number. Okay. So the second guiding principle is this. Listen carefully. Our feelings come from what we tell ourselves, come from our thoughts about what happened and not what happened itself. So if you're feeling bad here because of what he said, then what are your unhappy thoughts when he says to you, don't pick on my brother anymore? What did you have an unhappy thought then? What was it? Your heart slowed down. You felt heavy. Your heart felt heavy. Did you go to your brother and talk to him? No. No. What now? This is her story.
Yeah, that was the second time.
So how, when you are feeling like your heart is all heavy and that sort of thing, how do you act when you're feeling like sad? Like, what do you do then? Do you cry? Do you go ask somebody for help? Do you go tell on them? And when you cry, yeah. And sometimes when you're like in Helpless baby, because I remember a time, you've grown up a lot. But when I remember a time when you would go in Helpless baby, you would go crying to your mama to try to get her to rescue you. Do you remember that? You're getting better about that, aren't you? Yeah, I'm learning how to be responsible for you because you understand that your feelings come from what? Do they come from what's happening out there, or do they come from what you're thinking about what's happening out there? Can you tell the difference? What would you guess? Just make a guess. You know, there's no right or wrong. You just work with where you are. What would you guess? Like, if you, what was the question I just asked her? I just lost it. You forgot. Yeah, like what you do when you feel sad.
She runs to her mom.
Yeah, like you might, that was in the old days when you'd run to your mom, then maybe your mom would rescue you. But what if you were to decide that it's my thinking that's making me feel sad? What would you do different? I think you already did it. What would you do? If he says to you, don't you pick on my brother, and you found yourself thinking, he doesn't like me, he's mean to me, and then you went and after mom, and then you asked her to rescue you, right? But what if instead of asking her, you said to yourself, well, I get to think whatever I want to about this, and I get to decide whether I'm going to feel sad or not. What would be different if you chose to think what you wanted to think? Like, can you think of another way to see it instead of feeling sad? What thought would be a happier thought than he doesn't like me? Would you tell the whole group that? Yeah. He's just having a bad day. That's great. And then if he's having a bad day, what does that have to do with you? Nothing, right? Just say, well, it's not about me. He's having a bad day. Yeah. And what did that mean? What was happening there? So where was Avery? And then so I'm Billy, his brother. And you know, these are not bad kids, right? These are what kids do. Guess what? They're not the only ones who do this. We do it on every level. You know what we are is a planet full of kids. There are no grown-ups on this planet. I mean, I've met very few, frankly. It has nothing to do with age. It has to do with self-responsibility. It has to do with understanding that I am in charge of my feelings, not you, not anything you do, but what I tell myself about that. So the second principle, again, is the one that says, and this is what we work with the kids, we begin to teach them these principles that say, your thinking is what decides how you feel. You can see yourself as a victim, or you can decide, well, do I know that that's true? That he's really being mean to me? Or maybe he's having a bad day. Or even if he decides that he is trying to hurt me, maybe that's true. That would be about him and his behavior, not about me. I'm going to take care of me. So we teach kids to learn how to take care of themselves. Every one of these kids we work with. So that we want to work with the kids who feel like helpless babies. The thing that we work with helpless babies on is recognizing when they're in the helpless baby posture. They go into the collapse. My grandson did a good job of drawing it here. Did y'all see this? He wrote the words too. And it says, please help me. I clearly can do nothing for myself. See that little posture down there? Now, do you know anybody that walks through life with that posture? Think about it. That's the victim posture. These patterns, they get imprinted in us. You know? Our beliefs get cellularly imprinted, and that's one of the reasons we teach yoga. One of the reasons we do qigong and those sorts of things is because we understand that the body is actually, if you align the body, it's really hard to think victim thoughts. Don't take my word for any of this, guys. You know, you get to decide for yourself how much of what I say is true. I'm just sharing with you what I figured out for me and what has worked for me. So I'm going to say it like I know it because I know it for me. But you guys, don't take my word for it. You know? Think about it for yourself. So if you believe, if you have a core belief, that's what we call them. This is what we do in the workshop. Is we begin to help people get to what is your victim beliefs. We all have them. It might be, for me, one of my victim beliefs was that that I'm not lovable. That nobody could really love me. And what I decided about that was, because you weren't going to love me anyway, I didn't give a damn. I just decided I just wasn't going to care if you did or not. Matter of fact, I'll just, plow over you because you're not going to like me anyway. Now, you might, on the other hand, might have that same core belief and do something entirely different with it. You might decide that because I'm not very lovable and nobody can really love me, then what I'm going to do is please everybody. I'm going to make you happy. I'm just going to give myself away. I'm going to sacrifice myself totally. And then if if I make you happy, then you'll make me happy. Right? Wrong. Because what I'm going to do is hook up with somebody who very likely is a helpless baby who doesn't believe they can make anybody happy, much less themselves or you. They're looking for you to make them happy. They're walking around saying, can I sit in your lap? Will you care? I can't do it myself, but I know you're big, strong, and capable. Will you? And so this is the helpless baby thing. And so rescuers and helpless babies, rescuers and victims, I like to say, are a match made in hell. I know I said that word, didn't I? But that's a real word. It's not even a cuss word, believe it or not. But thank you for picking up on that. Sorry, I can always count on you.
This is the part where it's getting where...
For dogs. Yeah. You know, this would be a good time if you want to. You could leave. This would be good. Guys, you made us up. Oh, what?
Can I ask her?
What?
Look at stage.
Can I ask
you
a
don't have to.
question
I
before?
want to go
Yeah,
to
yeah.
you, Mama.
Oh, did you have some?
You wanted me to ask her the question. Is that okay?
Tell her.
Is that okay if I ask? Okay. Well, Lucas was getting it, and he said, Mommy, we have a pattern where Big Brother, is the bully.
Hey, big brother, we're talking about you. Don't you want to hear about this? You sure? Okay. I just wanted you to have the option because I didn't want you to think we were talking about you behind your back.
Well, when we started this, it was interesting. He got up and left. And I don't, it didn't seem like he was really paying attention, but I think he was paying attention. So this one here, this is Lucas. He's 5 and a half.
So come show us, Lucas, will you? Can you show us up here? Come show us what you know
about me. You want me to go with you?
No, Mom.
I mean, you can put me where I go.
It's up to you, yes or no. We'll move on if you don't want to. Would you like to show us? Tell us what your mom's telling. Tell us in your words. I would like to hear from you. Are you willing? Okay, go ahead, Mom.
Gabriel's the bully, right? And he picks on you and he does things and laughs about it. He thinks it's real funny. Right?
You know, here's the thing that, is that true? Is that what you're going to say? Yeah, then what happens? So he bullies you, and then where are you on the triangle? Now tell me your first name again.
Your first name.
Well, yeah, just tell me your name.
Tell her your name.
Yeah, whatever name you want me to use. Are you the youngest? You're acting a lot like a youngest child acts. That is, I don't know, here you do it. This is what young children do. They believe that somebody else is and we train them. We train them this way as parents. We train them how to let us take care of them. Because in a lot of times the youngest one this is the one we most often do it with because we're mamas. We like having those little ones. They start growing up, going away, and there's something in us that's sort of like, those youngest babies. We call them babies. They might be 40. They're our babies. And my youngest daughter, who is here, we've dealt with this very same thing in our own dynamic. Would you be willing to share anything about that, Jaquetta? Not that I'm putting you on the spot or anything, but can I put you on the spot?
Sure, go ahead.
You want to say something about that? Or are you willing?
Well, how much time do we have?
Just something about that dynamic, about being the youngest child.
Yeah. I mean, I'm an adult, but I'm still a helpless baby a lot. I'm having to come to terms with that belief in me that says that I can't do it. Somebody needs to rescue me. Because that's my pattern as a kid, and grow up, and, someone's going to help me.
That's it. And one of the things that you said to me about that I thought was very insightful was when you shared with me that is okay. Was when you shared with me that you really thought that the way to make people happy was by letting them take care of you.
Yes.
That's a very helpless babies aren't. It's sort of like there's that part of us that says she wants me to need her. Children know this stuff. It's like my grandson when he was 2 years old, and we asked him if he wanted to get in the water. He said, No, Mommy doesn't want me to do that. She just wants to have me around. It's sort of like, I got to stay little. I can't take risks or grow up because, and this becomes an imprint. So then we walk through life looking unconsciously for people. Well, will you be my mama? Will you be my dad? I need somebody here to take care of me. Because I've grown up believing, I've bought into this idea that I can't take care of myself. So what happens as rescuers, when we get into rescuing as parents, is we turn our children in, we teach them how to be helpless. They learn helplessness. And do you know, have you ever seen like a fish in the water that's flopping around and, what does it draw? Sharks. Yeah. helpless babies going through life of I can't. Guess what they draw? Bullies. Yeah, I like to say victims are shark bait for bullies. And again, but as long as we're busy rescuing the victim and saying, oh, that poor little thing, look what, rather than teaching, what we do with our kids is teach them how in their very posture they invite bullying. We teach them how to begin to move past that, how to begin to come into alignment, how to stand tall. And we teach them to begin to understand that these places in them that we were talking earlier, Terry and I, about working with children with cleft palates and kids who have birth defects or what do you do with those kids? They truly have, and it draws the rescuer in us. We want to protect these from these precious little ones. Of course we do. But the best protection for them is to teach them how to take care of themselves, because we're not always going to be there. They got to learn how to deal with the real world. And that's what we're about. And so we work with the helpless babies to learn when they begin to recognize it in their body language. They begin to recognize it when they're speaking the language of the helpless baby. And then we work with the bully to help the bully see that no matter, bullies are looking for power because they feel powerless. And the way that they get power and validation is they get affirmation and validation through acting out. So even if it's negative, it's still attention. And what I like to say about bullies is that bullies are leader energy gone awry. Like our dog Cyrus, if you want to get on the Conscious Kids page, you'll see a link there with me working with Cyrus. Cyrus has bully energy. He's our big German Shepherd. He's just this young. He's just like, I'll just run over you. Excuse me, I don't mean to. You're definitely in my way. Get up, that's mine. That's sort of, he's. Well, we don't want. This is natural. We don't want to stifle it, kill that out. But what we want to do is win the cooperation of that and redirect that energy. And so we work with bullies to redirect their energy to become the leaders that they want to be. A bully is basically saying, show me something that works better than this, because right now I can bully these kids into submission and be king on the hill for a moment. What we show bullies is that, yes, you can, but then where do you end up? Oh, bullies get bullied. Because they're the law. Somebody somewhere is going to, they're going to meet it. That's real life. So this is a model that's based on reality, based on real life. And so the bully, that's how we work with the bully. So there's no shame here, you see. There's no blame. Did you see that little girl get up and admit that she was a bully? Did you hear any shame in that? It's just like, no, I definitely. Yeah. This is called consciousness. That's why we call this conscious kids. It's about them, and it's not about making them be different. It's not about saying, now you shouldn't bully. Now this is the dynamic, but how can you move off of the triangle? So we teach the kids, there's 10 guiding principles, and I'll just read you a couple of them. They're on my webpage under Conscious Kids, but the first one is this. We can choose which of our thoughts to believe. Did you know you don't have to believe everything you think? Did you know that most of us think we do? We think that if I thought it, it must be true. We don't know to question our thoughts and beliefs. We teach kids, we teach adults, the core belief workshop and the workshops that we do, the healing the victim pattern workshops, we teach you how to question your thoughts so that you don't have, because really the only person you're ever a victim to is your own mind. It's your belief. It's what you're telling yourself about the world. Now, instead of walking into a place with, they're not going to like me. It's not that I don't hear that thought go through on occasion. It's like, oh, well, then, people. No, then I question, I go, well, wait, is that true? People aren't going to like you, and do you know that absolutely? How do you act? Because here's the formula. In mark this one down. If you don't leave with anything else today, leave with this and try it out in your life. And that is this. There's a formula. And it says this. When I believe what I think, two things automatically happen. One is I begin to feel as if what I think is true. I have all the feelings that go with that belief. If I believe I'm not good enough, then I'm going to feel not good enough. I'm going to feel worthless. Not only that, I'm going to be looking for how you see me as inferior to, expecting it. Because I've already decided. So I'm feeling all the feelings. And the second thing that happens is that I will then act as if it's true. And when I feel and act as if what I think and what I believe is true, then I will act in ways that will bring me exactly what I believe. This is how we prove to ourselves that the way we see the world is right. So there's the formula. And so what I've learned to do is when I have that thought go through, they won't like me. Now it's just so fast. Matter of fact, it's hardly a blip on the screen. Because for me, I've questioned it so many times. Now I'm just like, oh, there's that old, yeah, I know that. Yeah, well, I'm not sure I believe that. Because I know when I start believing that, I start feeling bad. And then, so here I come in the crowd, and if I come in here like you don't like me, then you're like, well, I don't really have anything to say or offer to you guys, but, if you, can you hear me back there? Because I really, I just don't know that. So here I am shuffling, and, right? What's your response going to be to that? Yeah, bored. You're not, yeah, what does she know? And then I look out and I see bored expressions. People get up and leave. Oh, now guess what? I am gathering evidence. See? They don't like me. And it had not a thing to do with you. It had everything to do with what I'm putting out. And we do this all day long. We move in and out of victim consciousness all day long. I like to tell people, it's not how often we go into victim consciousness. The goal here is not about, I love it. So you're going to 3 hours long, the mistress on the lake. The goal of this work is not about never going into victim consciousness, because good luck with that. It's our default. It's about how long does it take me to recognize I'm there, and how quickly can I do it. And what we do is hand you the tools to be able to recognize, to be able to question your thoughts, and to be able to move yourself out of victim consciousness into what we call observer consciousness. Not victor consciousness, because if I'm in victor consciousness, then that just means I'm up here, I've got it all right, now I know what you should do. Well, then that's still, there's still a winner-loser here. But observer consciousness is me stepping back from my own beliefs, not from you, but I'm containing my reaction, and I'm asking myself, I'm observing my own mind. I'm asking myself, what am I believing right now? And when I believe that, what happens? Where do I go? How do I feel? How do I act when I believe that thought? What does it create for me? And now for me, when that thought comes through again of, they aren't going to like me, I see that so quickly, I just go, oh yeah, then you're going to create that. Yeah, I see where that goes. What if I didn't believe that thought? Not saying I don't. Not saying I shouldn't. But what if I just questioned it? And then all of a sudden, it's sort of like it frees it up for something totally different to happen. I don't even have to get rid of the belief. All I have to do is learn to question it. That's the key. And it's so good, because it's not about getting rid of. It's like, oh, well, how am I ever going to get rid of those? All that. You're not. It's not. You don't have to. All you have to do is plant the seed of doubt between you and that concept you're blindly believing. It changes everything. Because if I'm married to the thought, that's what I like to say, when I'm believing something, so a thought comes through, the thought says, he's a dangerous person. Right? That thought comes through. It's just a thought. As long as I don't believe it, fine. But as soon as I take it, I grab a hold of it, I marry it. Now I have become one with that thought. It's become a belief. Thoughts become the belief. When it becomes a belief, that's when I feel as if it's true, and that's when I act as if it's true. When I feel and act as if it's true, we both know what happens. We don't know. Right? So now, but by questioning, as soon as I ask this first question, wait now, what are you believing in? You're telling yourself that that person is dangerous. Do you know that? And now I've taken a step back. Now I'm here looking at the thought. And that creates all the difference, because just that space between blindly believing it and questioning it means that the formula is interrupted. Now I don't have to feel as if it's true. I don't have to act as if it's true. And that means it can be a totally different outcome. Take my word for it. Try it for yourself. So today when I walk in, I come in with the belief that you are all going to love me. I mean, what's not to love, right? You know? And if I'm knowing that you're going to love me, that's going to mean that I'm going to love you. And it's just like, that's it. So that's the work we do here. And we do it in workshops. We do it right here on the stage. This is where we do our workshops. And we do the alignment part, finding the victim posture. So if I'm believing I'm not good enough, for me it was this. This is a family posture, by the way. This is my family pattern. Notice no butt. It's totally tucked. This is what I call the tail tuck. What do I call it? The tail tuck, but it's it's like the dog. I always get the image of the dog who's been whipped, pulls his tail in under him. This is my father. You remember Dad? This was his posture. Do you remember Dad? In case you don't remember Dad, he stood like this a lot. And that was my posture. And so coming into alignment meant, because we're energetic beings. We're connected with this. One of the reasons we love it here is because we're bringing in this high alkaline energy. And what I want to be is as aligned as I can possibly be to take in as much of that as I can. Because wherever there is a belief that says I'm less than, there's going to be a crimp in the hose. It's like taking the garden hose and you want to water the flowers, but you got a crimp in it and there's not much water that comes out. So that's us. We're hooked up to a source, but we can't let much of it in because we're all crooked up into our beliefs. So it isn't flowing too good. Right? So what we're wanting to do is learn how to come into an alignment. So that I'm walking in that. I can bring it in. I can breathe it. And through this process, one of the things that happened for me, among other things, many things happened, but one of the very visceral things was that I dropped 80 pounds in about a year and a half. Not from diet, but from alignment. And I began to walk around, so and all of a sudden, I began to receive these, because there's this intelligent life force that we are able to dialogue with. Again, don't take my word for it. Find out for yourself, if you don't know that already, and some of you already know that. I'm not telling you anything. So this is the work we do here, Danielle. This is our team. Danielle is our marketing person, and she's also training with me. We have a small mentoring class of people who really want to learn this work, how to take it out and teach it. If you think you're interested in that, talk to us about it. She's involved in that, and she's already taken it out. Of course, working and from her own life, living it. One of the main important things about taking this work out in the world is you have to live it. You can't do it without living it. That's why we wanted to bring you here, so that you could see it on the ground. This is how we live. It's part of our life. My daughter Jaquetta has been my executive assistant for 6 years, and is now moving on to do other things. But she's a partner in the business, so she's moving on. But at the same time, she's still involved. That's Jaquetta. Daniel, where's he? Is he gone?